Coming up on this edition of Hawkeye News.
Farewell to the class of 2005. May 28th was the conclusion of many great high school careers as the class of 2005 proudly marched across the stage at the Dallas Convention Center to accept their diplomas. Find out what made this commencement ceremony outstanding in this month's return of District in 60 Seconds.
Plus, the annual Relay for Life Cancer Walk returns to Red Oak. After a few years in nearby Midlothian, the walk returned to Billy Goodloe Stadium in June, and the event once again was marked as a great success. Details straight ahead.
Also, we welcome back one of our most popular informative segments here on Hawkeye News, the Counselor's Corner. This month, we check in with our wonderful counselors to see what we students need to know to get off to a successful start. Important information coming up.
And later, we'll check in with our new WC reporter, India Fernandez, who will be bringing us news and information from the West Campus this year. This month, India introduces us to a couple of new faces working to keep the West Campus safer and drug-free for all students.
And finally, Hawkeye News crime reporter J.D. Foster returns with a report on a serious matter, school safety. J.D. went on location at the recently held active shooter training class hosted by Red Oak High School. Information on how the Red Oak ISD PD is training to protect our schools from danger is in this exclusive report.
All coming up next on this edition of Hawkeye News.
You're watching Hawkeye News with Christian Henson, Natalie Hillary, Sports with Brady Sapp, news coverage from the Junior High Bureau with Lexi Below, and what's new at the WC with India Fernandez. Plus, academic and student life reports with our Hawkeye News team. Hawkeye News, leadership you can depend on. Hawkeye News starts now.
Welcome to the first edition of Hawkeye News for the class of 2006. I'm Christian Henson.
And I'm Natalie Hillary. It's back to school time once again and a new season for us here at Hawkeye News.
Natalie and I will be your hosts this year on Hawkeye News, brought to you monthly by Hadit and Project Success. We would like to thank Red Oak ISD for giving us the opportunity to bring you news from around the district. At the end of our program, we'll tell you how you can contact us and give us your comments and suggestions, as well as any ideas for news stories.
Before we get started with this month's headlines, we want to welcome to our show our 2005-2006 reporters. First, we go to senior Kara Miles, who is standing by with a special look at new faces around Red Oak High School and the district. Welcome, Kara.
Thanks, Christian and Natalie. It's great to join the Hawkeye News team. Coming up, we'll meet a lot of new faces around our campus this year and introduce you to some new teachers across the district, and much more coming up later in the show. Christian and Natalie, back to you.
Thanks, Kara. We look forward to that in just a few moments. But first, we want to introduce more new faces to the team and welcome sophomore Catherine Martinez to the show.
What's the word from the stadium, Catherine?
Well, ladies, just a short time ago, our very own Goodloe Stadium was the host location for the 2005 Relay for Life Cancer Walk. I'll bring you more on the walk later in the show. Christian and Natalie, back to you.
Thanks, Catherine, and welcome to the Hawkeye News team. We also want to welcome more new faces to the show as we go to the band hall to see what's in store for that Mighty Hawk band.
Let's go to Mighty Hawk band member and now Hawkeye News reporter Leslie Rangel. Leslie? It looks to be another exciting year for that Mighty Hawk band as new student leaders take over to lead the band on the field, and new faces are also joining Mr. Peace in the area of band instruction this year. I will have more on the band later. Christian and Natalie, it's great to be here. Back to you. And while Katie Stanglin, junior high reporter Lexi Belote, and photojournalist reporter Curtis Kelsey are back, some of them find themselves on new turf.
But not crime reporter J.D. Foster, who is also back with this important story.
How safe are our schools? This question is not one that is taken lightly by the Red Oak ISD Police Department. I'm J.D. Foster. Coming up, I'll have a full report on how law enforcement officials here in Red Oak are teaming up with the Ellis County Sheriff's Department to participate in an important program that could one day save our lives.
Thanks, JD. We look forward to hearing more about that later.
Also new this year to Hawkeye News, reporter Katie Stanglin no longer patrols the halls of the West Campus, but will bring us news from the main campus. And this month she'll bring our students a look back at this summer's Hawkeye News Banquet, while Curtis will team up this year with fellow junior Brandon Scott as the new dynamic duo of sports.
The final new face on the team is that of freshman India Fernandez, who takes over the segment, What's New at the WC. So let's go to India to see what she has for us this month.
Thanks, ladies. I am also really excited to be a part of the Hawkeye News team, and I will be looking for great stories to bring you from the West Campus this year, like the one this month on two new faces on the West Campus, those of Officer Brian Dumpsdorf and his K-9 partner Sandy. I have full report coming up later in the show.
It certainly looks like we're off and running on another power-packed show, and with all the new crew along with us veterans returning, we hope to bring you as much great news, sports, and information as possible this year.
Brady will join us later as he returns for his final year as sports anchor as well. With all this news, it looks like we better get things kicked off by heading first to the administration building to get the welcome back word from our superintendent of schools, Mr. Craig Stockstill.
I want to say welcome back to everyone. We appreciate the good start to school. We're excited about all the changes that we see in the district and things going on. As we work towards excellence, we remember that it's a way of life and not an event, and that we encourage you to strive to be better every day. Welcome back.
Thanks to Mr. Stockstill for taking the time to address the students and staff for our show, but also for his and our other school administrators' support of Hawkeye News, and for allowing us to bring you the good news around Red Oak ISD for another year.
Thank you, sir, and from all of us, best wishes to the administration and school board, as well as another great year. Now let's check in with Kara to see what new faces will be at Red Oak High School and around the district this year. Kara?
Thanks again, Christian and Natalie. I'm very excited to be part of the news team this year. And just like all the new faces on Hawkeye News, we have lots of new faces around students will see as we walk the halls of Red Oak High School. Let's take a look at the new faces and new places around Red Oak High School. The first new face to Red Oak ISD administration is our new Assistant Superintendent of Finance and Operations, Dr. Rick Bankston. Dr. Bankston comes to Red Oak from Frisco ISD and has been in education for several years in many capacities. Dr. Bankston takes over for longtime Assistant Superintendent Joe Miguel, who retired in June. Dr. Bankston has been very involved since coming aboard in late May. Welcome, Dr. Bankston. Now here's a list of other new teachers and staff members from around the district. We would like to welcome all our new teachers and staff members, and we look forward to getting to know you this year. Also, to all those who are returning for another great year at Red Oak ISD, on behalf of the students, we would like to thank you for your dedication to helping us reach our academic dreams and goals. Reporting for Hawkeye News, I'm Kara Miles. Back to you, Christian and Natalie.
Once again, June brought us another great night of laughs and fond memories for many of us here at Hawkeye News, as Alan and Kimberly Oliver, along with members of Project Success, host another wonderful Hawkeye News banquet. To bring us more on this, we go to reporter Katie Stanglin, who again moves from the West Campus to the main campus as a sophomore this year. Katie?
Thanks, Christian. The end of Hawkeye News for 2004-2005 came to a close with the third annual Hawkeye News Awards banquet. held on June 11th at the Red Oak High School cafeteria. The event gave us a chance to say one final goodbye and thanks to all our 2005 seniors that finished up their days here at Hawkeye News. The banquet was a big success as Project Success Drug Education and Alan J. Oliver Productions hosted the event, which honored the news team for another great year. Producer Alan J. Oliver worked very hard to produce awesome video vignettes on all the news team members. Special presentations were given to all participants, with beautiful Oscar statues being presented to our news anchors Christian Henson, Natalie Hillary, sports anchor Brady Sapp, and our senior team members Robert Kent, Jared Ushery, and Camille Webster. The event was also highlighted by a wonderful barbecue dinner provided by Brett and Brenda Sapp and wonderful decorations by Miss Donna Knight. We would also like to thank all the other wonderful committee members who helped make this a night to remember for all the cast of Hawkeye News Team. The news team for 2005-2006 was also introduced, and I also want to say welcome to the new members who joined us this year. I'm Katie Stanglin, Hawkeye News.
One of our most popular and informative segments here on Hawkeye News last year was our segment we call Counselor's Corner. This segment will be presented several times throughout the school year to inform students of important news from the counseling office. This month, we check in with our wonderful counselors to see what we students need to know to get off to a good start.
I want to welcome everybody. Good morning to a new year. We are excited about this year. The 05-06 school year is going to be a great year, and what I want you to know is today starts the new beginning of this new year. So anything that's happened in the past, it's a done deal. Let's start today. Take care of business every day. Take care of your homework. Make sure that you're taking care of everything you need to do so that you're the best you can be. Seniors, applications for your colleges will be accepted starting September the 1st. September 1. So get those scholarship forms ready, get those applications ready, and if you have any questions about anything, come by the counselor's office. Also, SAT, ACT, if you're applying for a school and you've not taken those tests, please be sure you come by and get your paperwork that you need. Welcome new staff. We have a lot of great people who are part of Red Oak High School this year. Staff members, please come by. We want to learn your names and your faces. So come on by the counselor's office and visit with us. And new students, a lot of you we have seen, but a lot of new faces, a lot of new names. Please be patient, but come by, say hey to us. And if you need anything, ask. Have a great year.
We would like to thank Mr. Kostadar, Mrs. Miller, Mrs. Osborne, Mrs. Hervey, and of course, Mrs. Cleveland for all their hard work and efforts that help us to be successful Red Oak High School students. We encourage students to really pay attention to this segment for important news from the counselor's office. It's time to check in with our new WC reporter, India Fernandez, who will be bringing us news and information from the WC this year.
Welcome to the team, India. What's new at the WC this month?
Well, first let me say again, it's good not only to be in high school now, but also to be a part of the award-winning Hawkeye News team. This month, I wanted to introduce you to a couple of new faces that will be working to keep the West Campus safer and drug-free for all the students who strive to meet our academic goals this year. This year, Chief Lindsay and the other members of the Red Oak ISD Police Department are happy to welcome the newest members of the ROISD team, Officer Brian Dumsdorf and his canine partner, Sandy. Officer Dumsdorf was hired during the summer to help cover the West Campus and to give Officer Scott at the high school some relief as well. While Sandy may be cute, she is far from just another dog. Sandy is a certified narcotics dog that is trained to sniff out illegal drugs. Sandy will be seen daily by students working along her partner as ROISD PD works to rid our school of mind-altering and life-destroying drugs. The message Officer Dumsdorf and Sandy want to send loud and clear is that we are happy to work for the protection of all the great students at Red Oak ISD. But if you plan on bringing drugs into our school, think twice. Zero tolerance for illegal drugs means zero. Chief Lindsay explained that Officer Dumsdorf and Sandy have gone through extensive training in narcotics detection, and the motto is, our students deserve the best, a drug-free environment to grow and learn. Good students will love Sandy, while drug users should fear her. Welcome Officer Dumsdorf and Sandy, and thanks for providing us a safe place to learn. Reporting from the WC, I'm India Fernandez, Hawkeye News.
This month's District in 60 Seconds is brought to you by Red Oak Car Wash, located at 311 East Ovilla Road.
Red Oak ISD. I'm excited to be back to bring you all the great news from around the district in this segment we call District in 60 Seconds. This section is to bring you short bits of information from all around Red Oak, from saying one final goodbye to the class of 2005 to their new facilities, all in this month's District in 60 seconds. Graduation 05 Big Success. Saturday, May 28th was the conclusion of many great high school careers as the class of 2005 proudly marched across the stage at the Dallas Convention Center to accept their diplomas. This was the first year graduation was held in the Dallas Convention Center, and many in attendance felt it was an outstanding facility for the event. What's new in construction? Many things have changed since we last reported in May, including the high school press box that should be ready soon. In other construction news, Red Oak Elementary will open in January 2006, but should be ready for teachers to move in starting later in the first semester. National Night Out. The 2005 National Night Out Against Crime was recently held in communities throughout Red Oak ISD, with the City of Red Oak event taking place at the City Park. Many groups were there to talk to the community about crime prevention and education, including our very own Red Oak ISD Police Department. eChalk. Red Oak ISD Technology Department has recently unveiled the new eChalk system that will allow students to have their very own school email, as well as the ability to access a wealth of information, including class assignments, announcements, and much more. The system should be ready for full district use by the beginning of September. And that's your district in 60 seconds.
We're proud once again to welcome back one of the busiest members of our news team, our sports anchor Brady Sapp, for another exciting year of Hawks and Lady Hawks sports action.
What's new in sports this month, Brady?
Well, ladies, the beginning of school is a very busy time for sports around Red Oak High School, and we take a look this month at another gold medal winner, as well as a closer look at the upcoming football and volleyball seasons with our dynamic duo of Curtis Kelsey and Brandon Scott. This after a word from our sponsor.
This month's Hawkeye News Sports is brought to you by Danny Humphreys at State Farm.
Welcome back, Hawk sports fans. Let's talk sports. This month we start off with a look at what continued to be total domination of shot put and discus by the Carter family. After blowing away the competition in district and regionals, 05 graduate Deandra Carter was set once again to bring home the gold in Austin after our last press date in May. Deandra traveled to Austin as her swan song to an outstanding high school track career as she represented Red Oak at the 2005 State Track and Field Championships. Deandra picked up right where she left off in 2004 by winning not only the shot put gold medal, but also taking home the gold in discus. The Carter family tradition started many years ago with Deandra's father, Michael, who was a state champion himself. After a couple of years of walking in the shadow of her big sister Michelle, Dee Dee was not going to waste her last chance to bring home 2 more gold medals in 2005. While it was close and took some last throw heroics, Dee Dee was once again up to the task. After winning state and enjoying her graduation, Dee Dee began to quickly start looking towards the next chapter of her athletic career, as she will join the Texas Tech track team this year and will have a chance to compete against her big sister Michelle once again as Michelle continues to represent the University of Texas. The Big 12 meet should be a real clash of the titans as Dee Dee looks to get the best of Michelle in the next couple of years in college. And who knows, the rivalry might just continue on one day to the Olympic Games. We wish both Michelle and Dee Dee the best of luck in the future, and thanks for representing Red Oak so well. As we take a closer look at football and volleyball, I'd first like to welcome our new dynamic duo of sports, Curtis Kelsey, and another new reporter this year, Brandon Scott, who joins us as a field reporter to catch us up on all that has taken place for the Hawks and Lady Hawks. Welcome, guys.
Thanks, Brady. Brandon will bring us a closer look at the varsity Hawks football team later in this report, but I'd like to start it off with the Masters of the Court, our defending district champions, the Lady Hawks volleyball team. The Lady Hawks are once again off to a busy start, and that should be no surprise for Lady Hawk fans that have become accustomed to district championships and playoff runs. Although this team is young, the coaches and players have high expectations once again this year. This year, the team will once again be trying to replace some outstanding seniors from the graduating class of 2005. As always, Coach Stanfield has stacked the pre-district schedule with a very strong competition, such as Mansfield, Arlington, Keller, and Plano, along with strong tournaments that will be held at Denton Ryan, Justin Northwest, and McKinney North High Schools. The team will also take on several teams who went deep into last year's playoffs, including Lady Indians of Waxahachie, in a match that will take place in Waxahachie on September 9th. The ladies will kick off district play against Lancaster at home on September 20th. The district once again will match our Lady Hawks with first half home games against Lancaster, Maybank, and Athens, with first half road matches at Corsicana and Ennis. The ladies will look to once again repeat as 14 4A champions. It should once again be a great season for the Lady Hawks volleyball team. So get on the bandwagon now and come out and support our Lady Hawks. That does it from here. Let's go to Brandon for a look at the Varsity Hawks football team. Brandon? I hate it when he does that.
Thanks, Curtis, and welcome to Football 05 Hawks Style. The Hawks have been hard at work for the past few weeks under the new leadership of head coach and athletic director, Coach Danny Edelman. Coach Edelman brings a strong resume to Red Oak, taking several teams to the playoffs. Coach Edelman has also brought on several new coaches to try and bring Hawk football fans an exciting 2005 season. The Hawks will have several good tests in pre-district before once again battling what looks to be Ennis, Corsicana, and Lancaster for one of the top 3 spots in district for the playoffs once again. The Hawks will look to many new faces on varsity this year to replace several seniors lost to graduation. While the Hawks had a disappointing 0-10 season in 2004, the energy is extremely high as the team looks to build into a legitimate playoff contender. The men in maroon will be tested early once again as they open the regular season against a tough Hewitt Midway team at Waxahachie. The Hawks will then play 2 road games at Justin Northwest, who is currently ranked number 16 in the Dallas Morning News polls on September 2nd, and Fort Worth Southwest on September 8th. The pre-district schedule will wrap up with a rivalry game at home against another preseason top 20 team in the area, the Midlothian Panthers, on September 16th, before returning home for the annual homecoming game once again this year against the Woodrow Wilson Wildcats. The district schedule opens with Lancaster on the road at their beautiful new stadium, then brings our Hawks back to Goodloe Stadium to our very own turf against the preseason favorites Corsicana and Ennis before an October 28th meeting with Maybank on the road and a regular season final tilt against Athens at home on November 4th. We wanted to find out some inside scoop on the Hawks, so we went to Coach Edelman to see what to expect from the Hawks this year.
You know, the thing that we really try to focus on are the things that we can control, and that's just our football team. And naturally, we realize that we have a very competitive district, but our main focus is on what we can do and how we can control ourselves and our team. So we try to focus on fundamentals. We try to focus on how we prepare, how we practice, and then, you know, naturally to go against an opponent, we walk out on the field and we feel like there's basically no false hope in what we try to do or try to do in the game. We feel like if we take care of all the little things, then the game basically will take care of itself. And naturally, if you have teams like Ennis, Corsicana, or whoever they are just other teams just like us. So that's basically how we look at that, and we basically feel like we control our own destiny.
Thanks to Coach Edelman, and as always, Mrs. Stanglin, for providing us with up-to-date information on Hawks sports. We encourage all our students to come out and support the Hawks this season. Reporting for Hawkeye News, I'm Brandon Scott. Back to you, Brady.
Thanks again, guys. We look forward to another great season from our Hawks and Lady Hawks this year. While the Lady Hawks will once again be under the direction of Coach Stanfield, the Hawks, on the other hand, will have many new faces on the sidelines this year, as Coach Edelman will be joined by 12 new coaches from Red Oak High School. All sports will see some changes on the sidelines this year. While coaches Warner, Boyd, and Hampel will return to the football staff, they will be joined by head coach Danny Edelman and these assistant coaches. Also joining the staff will be the new assistant trainer Brianna Grammer. While the majority of the new coaches are on the football staff, they also carry other sport coaching duties. Football is not alone in new coaches to their staffs. Coach Mary Lamar joins the high school girls basketball team and softball programs, coming over from the junior high this year. While new coach Johnny Jones will be the new head softball coach and will also assist the girls basketball, Coach Danny Simmons has been hired to fill the boys soccer coach position this year as well. Also joining as coach for a new sport to Red Oak High School is swimming coach and longtime junior high counselor Gretchen Ganoza, who will put up double duty. We welcome all the new coaches to Red Oak High School and look forward to getting to know all of you this season. While the boys basketball will still be led by coaches Foster and Bowen, the girls will see a change as Coach Joel Zuniga will take over the head varsity girls coach with the loss of Coach Veronica Reed, who has taken a job at another school district. That brings our first busy month of sports to a close. but we will be back in September to bring you more on football, volleyball, and a look at cross country, and information on our fall tennis team, as well as a special report on a new look at Goodloe Stadium. We would like to thank our coaches and Miss Sandy Stanglin for helping us with all the news in the world of Red Oak High School sports this year. Come out and support our student athletes this season. Christian and Natalie, back to you.
We're proud once again to welcome back now 8th grader Lexi Belote, who will keep us up to date with all the great news from the junior high in this year's Junior High in Review. How are things shaping up at the junior high this year, Lexi?
Thanks, Natalie and Christian. It is great to be back for my 8th grade year as part of the Hawkeye News team. This month, we, like the high school, thought it would be a good idea to see who the new faces are around Red Oak Junior High this year, as well as taking a look at the upcoming volleyball and football schedules for our junior high athletes. With the retirement of some longtime teachers such as Mrs. Ann Green and Mrs. Ogletree, we also had other teachers who moved on to other school districts, thus leaving our school with many classrooms in need of teachers. This year, Mr. Watson has worked hard over the summer months to bring in some teachers with a great deal of experience, mixed with a few that are new to teaching profession. Taking over for Mrs. Green in art is a familiar face to many Red Oak students, Miss Malia Jaffe. In the coaching ranks, the Hawks and Lady Hawks will be getting to know new coaches Blaine Kelly, Mark Bindle, James Dumont, David Young, and Carla Jones, who will be joining returning coaches Kenny Jones, Tim Treese, Megan Morris, Melissa Sumbler, and Larry Stevenson as this year's coaching staff. One of the faces that will be missed most will be Coach Peters, who has run the junior high program for many years. The administration at our school will once again be under the direction of head principal Mr. Morris Watson and returning assistant principals Mrs. Jinke and Mr. Spencer. The counseling office will once again be filled by Mrs. Ganoza and Mrs. Peterson. That's it for this month. We are off to a great start. I look forward to covering much more good news from Red Oak Junior High. And until next month, reporting for Hawkeye News, I'm Lexi Belote, and that's your Junior High in Review. Back to you, Christian and Natalie.
Another tradition that recently returned to Red Oak is the annual Relay for Life Cancer Walk. After a few years in nearby Midlothian, the walk returned to Billy Goodloe Stadium in June, and the event once again was marked as a great success. For more on the walk, we go to one of our new reporters this year, Catherine Martinez, who joins us from the stadium. Catherine?
Thanks, ladies, you're right. The Relay for Life Cancer Walk did return to Billy Goodloe Stadium on June 10th and 11th, and organizers called it one of the best events ever, much to the support of the Red Oak ISD and the Red Oak community. The event that was organized to bring awareness to cancer and to help raise much-needed funds for cancer research had spent the past few years in Midlothian, after spending several years here in Red Oak. Event chairpersons Joe and Patty Chagnon reported that the event raised a great deal of money this year and included the most teams the event has had thus far. Teams set up their tents for the long night of walking and some running, all to support the fight against cancer. Red Oak was very well represented, and all seemed to be blown away with the luminary ceremony that took place after dark with all the stadium lights out. Each luminary represented a friend or relative of those who are walking who had lost their lives to cancer. While event organizers praised Red Oak ISD for all the help our district provided, they were all sad to hear of the new turf that is going on the field, which may make it impossible to host the event in future years. Putting tent stakes on the ground was easy in June, but will not be, of course, allowed in the new turf now being laid for the stadium. No matter where the event is held in 2006, we encourage all our students to become involved with Relay for Life and help stomp out cancer in our lifetime. Reporting from Goodloe Stadium, Catherine Martinez, Hawkeye News.
August is not only a busy time for our student athletes, but also for our Mighty Hawk Band. To bring us a closer look at the new field leadership of the band of 2005-2006, we go to one of those members of the Mighty Hawk Band, our very own Leslie Rangel. Leslie?
The Mighty Hawk Band is once again hard at work practicing hours each day for the upcoming marching season. This year, the band will be under the field direction of drum majors Michelle Drum and Manuel Gonzalez. Michelle and Manuel have been working hard all summer with band director Mark Peace and his staff to keep the winning tradition of the Mighty Hawk Band going this year. They will be aided this year by section leaders Randy Ransom, brass, and Zachary Dixon, woodwind. Drill instructors this year are Silas Adams, Ashley Almond, Jimmy Cuellar, Chris Farrar, Christine Hollowick, Katie Paquin, Christina Polinsky, Danielle Rodriguez, and Alicia Suarez. The color guard will be under the direction of guard captain Casey Black, and drumline under direction of drumline captains Justin Severe and James Gray. Mr. Peace is also excited to welcome his new band staff members Regan Brumley, Tal Kirk, William Owens, and returning junior high director Heather Lindstrom, who will be instructing the Mighty Hawk Band this year. The band will once again perform at halftime of the Varsity Hawks football games, as well as at several competitions this year. We will bring you more on the Mighty Hawk Band in future editions of Hawkeye News. Come out and support the band this year. I'm Leslie Rangel, Hawkeye News.
Our next report is one of much interest around the world these days, as many are asking, how safe are our schools?
This question is not one that is taken lightly by the Red Oak ISD Police Department, and this month, crime reporter J.D. Foster went on location at the recently held active shooter training class hosted at Red Oak High School. What did you find out, J.D.?
Christian and Natalie, what I've found is that not only the Red Oak ISD Police Department, but also many others around Ellis County are taking school safety very seriously. Officers from the Red Oak ISD Police Department joined several other officers from around the area in the Ellis County Sheriff's Department's active shooter training, held at our very own Red Oak High School campus. After 4 hours of intense classroom training, Sergeant James Ledbetter, the training officer for Ellis County Sheriff's Office, then led the team to Red Oak High School and put them through a series of tough scenarios of what to do with an active shooter situation. As many of us remember, it was Columbine High School in Colorado that woke up not only law enforcement, but also the nation on just how dangerous schools can be. The days of waiting for a SWAT team to arrive are long past, and the importance of this type of training became evident that local officers need to know just what to do to neutralize a potentially deadly situation. While we cannot show you everything these officers went through for tactical and safety reasons, we can tell you that it was very evident that this training has helped make Red Oak ISD safer for all of us. We all saw again just last year how one crazy person can put an entire community in distress when we heard of the shooting of the Canton High School football coach by a parent. While these types of incidents are few and far between, it is good to know that local officers are training and preparing for the worst, thus making it safer for us all. The Red Oak ISD Police Department recently added K-9 Officer Brian Dumsdorf to the team, and he, along with Sergeant Lori Williams, Officer Byron Hopkins, and Officer Eric Scott, took part in the day-long training session. We asked Officer Hopkins a few questions about the training to see why Red Oak ISD police officers were involved.
Being a small department, we have to stand ready to serve in any situation, such as a school shooting. And in a situation like that, in a matter of seconds, lives could be lost. So this type of training teaches us to quickly assemble as a team, make entry, locate the subject, and end the situation. Without this type of training, a successful outcome may not be possible. So I guess, JD, if I had to sum it up in 3 words, this type of training teaches us alertness, preparedness, and action. If you know someone that's being a victim of bullying or being bullied, let us know. If you know someone that threatens to bring a weapon to school, let us know. If teachers or students notice a sudden change in behavior or students' dress, that may be something you want to bring to our attention. JD, we practice these type of situations throughout the district, and we hope that teachers and students take this training seriously so that if they ever find themselves in this type of situation, they know exactly what to do. And knowing exactly what to do means the difference between life and death in an active shooting situation.
As we have been told, it is really up to us as students to make our schools safe places to learn and grow. If you have information that you need to pass on to our campus police, talk to one of the officers, or, if you wish to remain anonymous, call the 24-hour tips line at 972-576-8477. That's 972-576-TIPS. Reporting from Red Oak High School, I'm J.D. Foster, Hawkeye News.
Thanks, JD. That was an awesome report, and we hope all of our students will continue to be a part of making our school the safest school anywhere. We'll see you next month.
Well, that about does it for our first show of the new school year.
Yes, Natalie. And we look forward to bringing you much more the rest of the way from now until graduation day in 2006. We also wanted to remind you that we would really love to hear from you. So if you have any ideas, comments, or suggestions, you can write us at hawkeyenews@redoakisd.org or give us a call at 972-617-4312. I'm Christian Henson.
And I'm Natalie Hillary. Until next time, thanks for watching, and make it a great day.